issues a lot of people say is the issue where you get people, they arrive here and then they claim they've been tortured, they claim that they're victims of people trafficking, modern slavery, and one of the things that Suella Braverman has said she wants to do is actually change the law so people can't do that, particularly those arriving from Albania, a country that's not war-torn and that is applying for accession to the EU and is a member of NATO. Do you think that this so-called historic deal is going to change anything at all?
Honestly, the way, and thanks for inviting me, the way that this word historic is used again and again is quite extraordinary. What we've actually seen, of course, is a whole repeated series of saying, yes, we're now going to really sort things out. And actually, it doesn't really change anything. And what that means is that they aren't looking at the upward problems of how not to end up forcing all people into this incredibly dangerous channel crossings, but how to look at some way of working with others.
Can I clarify? So no one is forcing people.
Cooperation is good, but fairly chaotic.
Steve, you use the phrase force. No one is forcing anybody in France to get on a rickety dinghy and pay $4 or $5 grand to a people trafficker to come to England. No one is forcing them to do that.
And as the government full well knows, most people actually don't. So we end up with that much smaller number. Most say so, twice as many stay in France, 3 times as many in Germany, and let alone other countries closer to the conflict zones where it's huge numbers. So what we're getting
so talk me through the conflict zone in Albania.
No, so there, obviously, I was talking about places, Turkey or Lebanon near to Syria. So on Albania, coming to Albania, I mean, there we've seen, to be clear, over the past years, the top of the league table again and again and again has been those from Iran. And those coming through the doors or freedom from torture have most often also been, or one of our top sets of clients is from Iran. Whereas we all know terrible things are happening. And the government is constantly trying to steer away from that fact, because that's the bottom line. Iran, Eritrea, places where the human rights situations are beyond appalling. With Albania, it's interesting where those have come up now, but it's important to remember that even with Albania, according to the government's own figures, even there, more than half of those who are looked at have indeed been involved in trafficking, have been trafficked themselves, and is difficult. But also, I say, over the past 6 years, actually, Albania is a bit of an outlier in what we've seen in recent months.
Yeah, so okay. I realise there are different issues.
I can see why the government is eager to focus on that one.
Yeah.
But actually, that has not been the typical pattern at all. And what they haven't done is, how can it be so dangerous for those from Iran or Afghanistan or elsewhere be doing this? How can we make it simpler to look at the process, allowed to make decisions about whether people are telling the truth or not, but ought to make the whole process simpler.
It should be simpler and easier, again, for the people who would have a right to be here. But again, people will always have this issue, say, oh, France and Germany are taking more. Well, of course they are. Countries, if Ireland had a major crisis, we would be the country that would take most people. Countries that are nearer to other countries take them. If France and Germany choose to be part of the EU and have Schengen open borders, that's what's going to happen. Germany opened their borders in 2015. That's not worked out very well for them. You'll find an awful lot of people in Germany very unhappy about what's happened there. But this is the thing. We have the benefit of being an island nation. Therefore, we're able to control our borders more. We always have, even when members of the EU. The question is, people are asking is, why do these people need to travel to northern France to get on rickety boats and pay people traffickers to come to this country? They're in a safe country already, a country many of us go to on holiday. Why do they need to travel here? Because it's easier to claim asylum here. It's easier to work illegally here. And that's the issue.
So fun enough, we'll be publishing a report quite soon which looks actually exactly at why people are doing it and tries to have a little bit of statistic sense. And we're talking to our clinicians as well, how so much of a pattern. And the overwhelming reason why people are coming here, so as you and we both agreed, actually more people stay in the other countries, not just the ones far away, but the ones closer to us, France and Germany, for a bunch of reasons. Those who do end up coming to the UK, having some kind of cultural ties, which may also just mean from an English-speaking country, but often family ties. Those are the kinds of things, because why would you impose on yourself an additional incredible, everybody can agree,
I've said this to you before, I've got family in New York, but I don't have a right to go and live in New York.
No, so if you wanted to do so, if you washed up on the shores of New York, you then have to make a case. If you're looking for refugee statements, you'd have to make a case. And that's what every government is.
I wouldn't be able to get off the boat or the plane, and you know perfectly well.